Kevin Rail. Kevin is a fitness nutrition specialist and a fasting coach. If you want to know more about him, you can check him out at mybit or mibfit.com. Is that the right
Yes.
address?
MIB Fit,
okay.
yes.
mibfit.com.
Perfect.
So, welcome, Kevin.
Thank you, Steve. It's good to be here again.
So, I know you're really studied and researched, and fasting is a big part of your life. Mm-hmm. And you probably get sick of hearing about, all these experts and so on saying this or that, or pros, cons, negative, good things, bashing it, whatever. So let's talk about some myths. And maybe we go through about 3 or so, but let's talk about some myths of fasting. And I'm just going to talk about some of the things I've heard. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but I'll let you expand on it. So
sounds good to me.
I hear a lot of, we'll say, YouTube experts talking about intermittent fasting is only calorie reduction. And they say this because you're limiting the time that you eat. Mm-hmm. So you don't eat as much. Therefore, you lose weight because you've actually restricted your calories. Mm-hmm. Now, I think there might be a few more benefits to fasting and giving your body a break and having that window of eating and not eating. So what do you have to say about those people out there that say all you're doing is you're reducing your calories?
Well, it is true that you can use the medium of fasting and what I call time-restricted eating, which is eating in a shortened window of time every single day, as a tool for weight loss. In fact, most people that utilize intermittent fasting and time-restricted eating do it to try to lose weight. That's probably the number one reason why people go that direction. Now, there are a whole slew of other benefits involved with fasting, and those are the benefits that I chase after because I'm already pretty lean as it is, and I use fasting as a completely different tool. And yeah, if you eat less calories in a shortened window of time, you're going to lose weight in a hurry. And if you space those calories out through 6 or 8 meals a day, you're probably going to get some moderate weight loss as well. But what my problem is with that is the whole idea with fasting is you don't want to eat as often. And this is what's going to, a lot of eyebrows are going to go up in the air with what I'm about to say. And please don't hate me and don't try to track me down and knock my my door down and, murder me in my sleep. I'm being honest here. When you eat 6 to 8 meals a day, every single time you eat a meal, your insulin levels rise because your blood sugar rises. So this is what happens. Blood sugar goes up, insulin says, uh-oh, blood sugar's up, insulin needs to come up. I need to level that blood sugar. Insulin rises, it spikes, your pancreas has to release insulin. Your blood sugar starts coming down after a couple hours. All of a sudden you go, uh-oh, I got to eat again to keep my metabolism revving. Pow! You just spiked your blood sugar. Bang, you just spiked your insulin. 2 hours go by, it starts going down. Pow, you spike it again. Bang, it goes back up. People do this. Usually, they start at 6 a.m. in the morning and they don't stop until 10 o'clock at night when they go to bed. So what they're doing is they're eating in an 18-hour window. So their pancreas is constantly surging insulin all day long like this, okay? Now, do you know what causes diabetes? A high amount of insulin release constantly all day long throughout the day. So if you're eating 6 to 8 meals a day, your insulin is going to be high, your blood sugar is going to be high, you're going to run the risk of increasing your risk for diabetes as you get older, as you get up to 40 and 50 and 60 years old. That's why when you were younger and your grandparents started to have to go on metformin and medication because they developed diabetes, that is why, because they probably ate a lot of high sugary foods, processed carbs that spiked their blood sugar, and they had snacks in between their meals. They ate all day and they ate late at night. That is the devil. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. So what you want to do is you want to shrink your window down and you want to try to get finished by, I would say, no, best case scenario, you eat literally between like 10 and 5 every single day. 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 meals, no snacks in between. That'll give you about a 7 to 8 hour eating window. And you have a good solid 16 hours of fasting going on through the night, which is critically important, and your body gets to come back down to homeostasis, and your levels of ghrelin and leptin come back down, which is your hunger-stimulating hormone and your hunger-satiating hormone. They come back to baseline, insulin goes down and it stays down. You spike it when you eat, it comes all the way back to baseline, you spike it once more, it comes back to baseline. That is how the body was designed. So that is safe and that is not dangerous. And if you do that alone, you're going to be able to lose weight because you're not in a fat storage mode for 18 hours a day. So all you people that like to shove 6 to 8 meals in your mouth all day long, 200 calories here, 300 there, 500 there, 400 there, you're constantly keeping your insulin levels elevated. And that is not what you want to do. So, will fasting promote weight loss? Sure it will. But you can easily eat 2,000, 3,000 calories in one single meal if you're eating 2 meals a day. But think of it. You eat 2,000 calories in this meal, your blood sugar goes through the roof, your insulin goes through the roof. But all of a sudden it comes back down and you don't eat again for 16 hours. So your insulin gets a big spike, it comes all the way down, it stays level, and then you spike it again, it drops, you spike it again. That's 2 spikes a day. It's not 6, it's not 8, it's not 18 hours total. So, there's my answer to that question.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So, but what about concerns when you're fasting that your body's going to say, hey, hold on here, there's no food coming in. Would I slow down my metabolism during a fast because my body's
In
trying to
starvation
hang on
mode?
yeah, it's like, okay, my body's going, hey, there's no calories. I'm not going to give up any calories. Is that true, or
No.
how does that work?
That's completely false. That's a really good point you brought up. I'm glad you brought that up. So this whole myth that fasting or not eating for a long period of time causes your body to go in starvation mode, I've heard that one before years ago, is absolutely false, and it's untrue. In fact, the longer you fast, the higher your metabolism goes and your body's ability to burn fat. It becomes more efficient at burning fat because it's not doing other things like trying to digest food all the time, like trying to detox the body. You go through a certain period of time where you go through a detox, and then your body says, oh, I'm bored, let me just go chew away this fat. And not only does it chew away the fats, but it also chews away other problematic cells in your body, and you hit this position called autophagy. And autophagy takes a while to get into. The average person can probably hit it around, start scratching the surface at about 24 hours, but someone who's really overweight and unwell to start with or has a bad diet, it could take up to 2 to 3 days to hit autophagy. I know my body really well, and I feel I hit it within 24 hours like a dime piece every single time I do a longer fast. So, no, it's untrue that your body's not stupid. Remember that. Your body spares the good material and it gets rid of the stuff it doesn't need. It feeds off of stored fat. I mean, just look at the basic chemistry of the body when you're working out, physics. When you're doing let's say you're doing a treadmill workout. You get on a treadmill, and when you're sitting still, your body's primary source of energy is fat. When you start walking, you're still burning fat. When you start jogging, you're still burning fat. When you start jogging harder and you start huffing and puffing, your body starts flipping over and it crosses what's called the anaerobic threshold. And Steve, you probably know that from being a gym owner for so many years. When that happens, your body then becomes reliant on carbohydrates for energy, and you're not burning as much fat. You're burning stored carbs. Then if you slow your pace back down to a slow pace and you're doing an interval, you're going to go back to high fat burning mode. And as your heart rate goes up and you cross the anaerobic threshold, it's going to go back to carb burning again. So it's going to go back and forth between fat and carb burning. And it really depends on your level of exertion, what your body's going to burn for fuel. But if you're just lying around fasting for 1 day or 2 days or whatever it is, even 16 hours, 18 hours, fat is going to be the primary source, and it's going to chew away at it. And once you hit 16 hours, your fat burning really starts going revving up. So, so fasting does not slow down your fat burning. It doesn't slow your metabolism. It actually increases it.
Wow, okay. So that kind of, leads me into the next thought, or kind of answers it for me, in that, so fasting then is, okay, your body needs energy, so maybe it wants to hold on to the fat and burn muscle because it feels safe with the fat or something. So the fasting, does that really cause you to lose muscle?
No, I think that's where you were going with this. No. What ends up happening, when muscle gets broken down, it's called catabolism, which you probably know that as well. And when you do fasting, your body goes and it burns fat as its main source of fuel. The longer you fast, the higher amount of fat you're going to burn. And the longer you fast, the more protein sparing that's going to go on in your body, because again, we circle back to point A that I talked about, where your body is not stupid. So it's going to hold on to the muscle and say, holy cow, I haven't had food in a while. I know muscle's important to function on this body, so I'm going to make sure the muscle stays preserved. And your body goes into protein sparing. And that's when you really start to burn the fat, and you really start seeing a difference in your definition. And not to mention, your human growth hormone levels go through the roof after about 18 hours, and they just keep climbing. So when you're doing workouts after a 2-day water fast, You might be huffing and puffing, your aerobic capacity might be down, but I mean, I just did 88 hours of fasting. I broke it this morning at like 10 o'clock. And during that whole time frame, I lost 13 pounds, by the way. And I know it was pure fat because I feel tight and I feel solid, and I literally see the striations in my stomach more than I did 3 days ago when I started the fast. So you have to just, we keep coming back to this. Do your research on yourself, do some experiments on yourself. Don't listen to all the experts. Don't even listen to me. Listen to what I have to say, but don't take to what I say as biblical. Go out and practice it. Practice fasting. Start out with 12 hours. Do 3 meals a day. Stop by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at the latest at night. And then start increasing your fasting window. 13 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours, 16. And then every now and then, get the guts up to do a 24-hour fast, a 48-hour fast. And work out during those time frames and see how you feel. Everybody reacts differently to everything. But the base principles I'm telling you about are all absolutely foundational and true. So longer fasts will not destroy your muscle mass. The only way that it's going to cause a problem is if you already start at like 5% body fat. If you're already really lean and really low, I wouldn't suggest doing longer fasts. Don't go more than like 48 hours. But when you come out of the fast, you get this massive stem cell dump and a huge surge of HGH and insulin as well. They start to balance out, and when you start your workouts again, you just get pumped and you get solid as a rock. So my workout tomorrow and the day after that, I'm going to feel like Hercules. So that's it for that.
Wow, very interesting. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, Kevin. Can't wait to have you back and talk about some of this other stuff. And that's exactly what I'm always saying is like, you know what? Go do your own research. Don't be lazy or irresponsible with your own health because everyone is different.
Yeah.
Find that sweet spot for you.
Right.
But you got to try some things to find that sweet spot. So, thank you, Kevin, for being with us. And if you want to find out more about Kevin, again, mibfit.com. So, thanks for being with us, Kevin.
You bet. It was awesome.